Mhm. Mhm. All right, we are now streaming live on YouTube. Sir, if are you Earl Noble, excuse me, Jacob Earl Noble? All right, the defendant has indicated that he is in fact Jacob Earl Noble. This is your preliminary hearing. You are charged in warrant number 2025 CW 70012, and that's terroristic threats. Representing the state is ADA Thomas, representing the defendant is Attorney Rogers. Your witness, ADA Thomas.
Thank you. And Lieutenant, can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you shall give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down, state your name for the record.
My name is Lieutenant Brandon Warren
And how you employed.
to the Clayton County Sheriff Office.
And were you so employed in that capacity on or about January the 1st of 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have occasion to respond to a 2545 Lilac Drive within the confines of the city of Morrow?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that within Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And did this involve a Jacob Earl Noble?
Yes, ma'am.
And what brought you to that location regarding Mr. Noble?
Mr. Noble's brother contacted us in reference to a domestic situation that occurred the night before I arrived. And I spoke with his brother.
And do you recall the name of the brother?
His brother, his name is Corey Noble.
And is he actually the victim in this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did Mr. Corey Noble advise?
Mr. Noble advised that they had some type of gathering at his mother's house on the day before on New Year's Eve, and that Mr. Jacob was very intoxicated and had a firearm, and he was acting out, and there were several juveniles that was present, and they were removed from the residence. So the victim, Mr. Corey, advised that he tried to contact his brother on the first to speak with him about the situation, and which his brother, stated some words like some fine words that he was going to pull up and see what everybody was talking about. Uh, Mr. Mr. Corey also notified me that he received a phone call from a family friend whose name is Rashad, advised that Mr. Jacob Noble called him and stated that he was going to kill Corey Noble. While I was speaking to Mr. Corey Noble, Mr. Jacob's wife called Mr. Corey, and she advised that she had recently spoken to Jacob in reference to everything, and she recorded a phone call with Jacob, which I was able to listen to. And Mr. Jacobs did state on the phone call that he was going to kill and harm Corey.
Okay, let me start because we got a lot of Nobles going on. Okay, so Jacob Noble's defendant wife recorded him saying that he was going to kill his brother Corey Nobles.
Yes, ma'am.
And was this a audio and video call?
So, from my understanding, she was talking to the defendant on one phone and recording the call. She was talking to the defendant on one call and had another phone and was recording the call. Like it was like a video call. Like,
but it does not show. She was what? I'm sorry.
So it doesn't show Mr. Jacob Noble. It doesn't show Jacob Noble. It just shows that she's talking to someone on the phone that she named in her phone. The name of the phone was Bevel. And I asked her can she confirm who that was, and she told me it was her husband.
The name on the phone said what now?
She named Jacob Noble's name in her phone, she referred to him as the devil.
You mean devil as in DEVIL? Like,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
And I
And what
asked her, I'm sorry.
I'm listening. I'm sorry.
And so I asked the wife, Shawana Noble, who was I asked her who was the devil, like what was his name, who was she talking to, and she advised that she was talking to her husband Jacob Noble.
Okay. Did she indicate how long they've been married?
I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they had been going through marital problems.
Okay. Now, was Corey Noble, did he hear the call?
Yes, he heard the call as well.
Was he
And
able to identify the person?
he identified the person on the phone was his brother Jacob.
Okay. So his wife and the victim, his brother, identified the voice as his.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how did he come to be arrested?
I'm not sure on that part. He wasn't arrested that day. I took a warrant for his arrest.
Oh, okay then. So you have not seen him. You have not talked to him.
No, ma'am.
But based on your interaction with the victim and the defendant's wife, you were able to take out a warrant against him?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that the extent of your interaction until court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I think I just asked it, but it's getting a little late in the day. I'm going to make sure. You have not actually seen Jacob Nobles until today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Today is the first time.
Okay. Was the victim Corey Nobles in fear for his life?
No.
Lieutenant, could you hear me? I think it froze up.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me repeat my question just to be sure. Was the victim Corey Nobles in fear for his life?
Excuse me, I'm objecting.
Yes,
Excuse me, Lieutenant. I'm objecting. That calls for speculation, for one, but for two, it's also irrelevant to the charge.
ADA Thomas, if you could just rephrase your question.
Lieutenant, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
What did Mr. Corey Nobles, how did he perceive that, what he heard?
He perceived it as a threat from his brother, and he wanted to prosecute his brother for saying that he was going to kill him.
Okay. And was he able to indicate what exactly his relationship? Well, let me rephrase. The defendant is Corey Noble's brother?
Yes, ma'am.
His biological brother?
Yes, ma'am. From my understanding, they lived in the same household and they share the same mother and father.
Okay. Your Honor, I believe that's all I have reserved right for redirect.
All righty. Attorney Rogers.
Thank you. Lieutenant Warren, I'm guessing you're the lead on this one, right?
Say that again?
I said you're the lead on the case, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I want to get a little bit more clarity on the scenario. Where is the conversation that you have? Well, let's start off. Who's the first person you talked to as part of your investigation?
Mr. Corey Noble.
Okay. Where does that conversation occur?
On Lydic Drive.
Okay. And who else is, and just so I'm clear, y'all are both physically present. Is there anybody else that you've mentioned that's physically present at that location when you get there?
No, sir.
And so I'm understanding whatever conversation you have with the person that Corey is telling you is Jacob's wife, how does that conversation occur?
While me and Mr. Corey was talking, she called Mr. Corey.
And when she calls, whoever this person is, do you ever speak to the person yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the conversation, because you mentioned, I thought you said a video call or some sort.
So it's not like a video as what we think like a FaceTime call.
Mm.
The wife, she she was on one phone talking to him, and she had another phone while the phone that they were speaking on was on speakerphone, and she just recorded the call. Like she
Okay.
had it on camera, and she recorded the call.
Okay, let me stop you there because it sounds like we're talking about two phones. So you said she's on a call. That call that she's on is with Corey, the person that you're saying is the wife, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Is
no,
that a
no,
vid?
no, no, no. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm clear on it. We've mentioned a couple of phones. So as I'm understanding it, there's the person who's supposed to be the wife is on a phone call with Corey, correct?
Yeah, she called Corey while I was speaking with him.
Okay. Is that a video call or is it just straight voice call?
It's straight voice call.
Then you mentioned another phone or a recording or something like that. You, s- I guess I want to get clear on that part. You're saying that she plays a recording from another phone while she's on the phone?
No, so she told me that she recorded him stating that he was gonna kill the brother. So what she did was, while this is at a different time, she's recording the call between her and Mr. Jacob, and so she saved that to another phone, which she was able to send me the call, the phone call
Okay. And
in
so,
the
all right.
in the video form.
Okay, you just lost me at the end there. In the video form, what you mean?
So like she recorded the phone calls. Like it wasn't like how like I can record. I can use my phone and turn it on video and record something. She just
Okay.
recorded the phone itself
Okay,
while they was talking.
and that's how you saw what the name on the phone was?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you ever see the person who's supposed to be the wife? Do you ever see her on any other the video?
No, no, sir.
And then I guess I want to get clear because as I understood it, you're first talking to Corey. At some point, you're saying you talked to the person that's supposed to be the wife. When did you talk to her?
So it was somewhere in while I was interviewing Corey, the wife called.
Mhm. Okay. And so when you talk to her, do you say this is Lieutenant Warren, Sheriff's Office, or whatever?
I can't verbatim. I can't remember how I introduced myself.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm just trying to get clear. But you're saying you do introduce yourself to her?
I, I, I believe I did. I'm quite sure I did, but I can't remember
Okay.
off the top of my head.
And then at some point, you're saying that you hear a recording of a phone call, correct?
Yes.
What's the exact wording of the part that you're saying is the threat from Mr. Noble?
I heard a male voice state that he was going to kill and harm Corey.
Okay. And just so I'm clear, that's not a live phone call. Like it's the recording of a call at some other point, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when that recording was made?
If I'm not, I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe it was made the day of it was made on the 1st, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember.
And so this person, if I'm understanding, this person is supposed to be the wife. You never lay eyes on her, correct?
I never laid out on him. No.
Does she write a statement or anything at any
No,
point?
sir. No, sir.
As far as the phone numbers that are being used in these calls, do you ever do any sort of investigation to independently verify that this phone number is associated with either Mr. Noble or Mr. Noble's wife or anything like that?
No, sir.
And so if I'm understanding, essentially the only person that you've spoken to in person about this is Corey, correct?
In person is Corey. Yes.
And so all of the identifications and everything, they kind of rest on what Corey is telling you, if I'm understanding. When he says this is the wife, yada yada, that's all resting on what Corey is saying.
If I'm not mistaken, the wife gave me her name and date of birth, or she gave me her driver's license number.
Did
I
you?
can't remember how I identified her, but I know I added her to my report, so I had to have some kind of information for her.
Okay. But you never saw the actual person to say that this person matches the picture on the ID or anything.
No, I said it again.
I said you never saw the person though to say that this person is the same person that's on the ID for that driver's license number.
No, I never. The only person I seen in person during this incident was Mr. Corey.
And then, and I want to go back a little bit to the part. I think you said that Corey told you that Rashad told Corey that Jacob was threatening to kill Corey, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever talk to Rashad?
No, sir.
And a couple more questions. If I'm understanding it, the conversation that's being recorded and played for you, that conversation is supposed to be between Jacob and his wife. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Corey's not a part of that conversation, is he?
No.
And Jacob's not on there saying, tell Corey I'm about to do X, Y, and Z to him or anything, is he?
No. I don't. No. I don't believe so.
So he's just having a conversation with his wife. And it's
Yes.
as it's being presented to you.
Yes.
And Corey doesn't claim that Jacob actually said that to him.
I think the only thing that between Corey and Jacob, it was in the text message. If I'm not mistaken, it said, "I'm gonna pull up. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna see what you're talking about."
Give me 1 minute. I think that might be all my questions at the moment. Hang on. Oh, as far as the number that supposed to be, I think the contact you said was the devil. Did you take
Yes.
down that number?
If you give me a second, I can check.
Oh, I'm not asking for the specific number at the moment. I'm just asking if you took it down. But if you
I
need to
can't
check,
remember. I
okay.
can't remember.
And then okay. And this you may have kind of answered this, or might be by implication, but did you do anything to independently verify that that number? If you took it down, did you do anything to independently verify that that number was somehow connected to Jacob Nobles?
No.
No further questions at this time.
Or any redirect?
Hopefully brief, Your Honor. Sergeant, based on what defense counsel has asked you, I know you say you did not talk directly to Rashad, but is it your understanding the threat was made to Rashad and he relayed it to Corey?
Yes, ma'am.
Similar threat was made to the defendant's wife who related to Corey?
Yes, ma'am.
And Corey received a text from the defendant indicating he was going to, I'm trying to remember the exact word.
I'm going to object. This is leading. She just testifying and asking him to just confirm statements at this point. So that's leading.
But these are the questions that you asked. I'm just trying to confirm that I understood his responses correctly.
Overrule Attorney Rogers.
Hold on.
Go proceed.
Well, Judge, she's still not allowed to lead on direct. No matter how she gets there, she's not allowed to.
Go ahead and
Rephrase, Your Honor?
Yeah, rephrase. I'm sorry.
Okay. The victim also received a text?
Yes.
Objection again, that's still leading. She's just making a statement and asking him to confirm
Did
it.
the victim receive a text in response to defense counsel's questions, Your Honor? I believe there was extensive conversation regarding texts that were sent
Just,
to the.
just ask the question.
Yes,
without-
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Did the victim receive a text from the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it in regard to him driving or stopping by?
Yes.
Did the defendant's wife record a threat from the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that identified by the defendant's wife as the defendant?
Repeat your question.
Did the defendant's wife identify that voice as being the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
Did the victim recognize the voice as being his brother, the defendant?
Yes.
Your Honor, I believe that's all I have.
All right. You have
Sure.
any further evidence or
Well, I have recross, Judge.
witnesses? ADA Thomas, you're done? You're closing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I have some questions based on
Oh,
those.
okay. All right, go ahead.
So, Lieutenant Warren, this person keep calling the wife. I just want to make sure we're clear. You never seen her, correct?
Never seen her.
Okay. You don't have any proof as it stands right now that that person is actually Mr. Noble's wife, do you?
Say that again.
I said you don't have any proof that that's Mr. Noble's wife, other than Corey saying it. That's the only basis you have to say that it's his wife.
Other than Cora and the wife saying, yeah.
Right. And what I'm saying though is you've never seen the person to know that the name is the person that you were actually talking to, correct?
I've never seen the person.
So that's what I was saying is to saying that it actually is Jacob's wife. That's based on Corey saying that. It's not based on seeing the person confirming that this is the name and saying that this is that person.
Yeah, Corey advised that was the wife, and the female on the phone advised she was the wife.
Okay. And just so I'm clear, Corey, you mentioned Rashad. I think you said also was the person that Corey says told him something. What's Rashad's name?
All I got was Rashad.
And we say all you got was Rashad. Have you ever, does the name Rashad Brown Hudson or Rashad Hudson sound familiar to you?
No, I can't remember.
Okay.
All I put in my report was Rashad.
Okay. Did Corey put you in touch with Rashad?
I don't remember. I don't believe so.
All right, no further questions.
All right. Anything further, ADA Thomas?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Okay, all righty. Attorney Rogers,
Yes, ma'am.
you
I
have a witness?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Hopefully he's still in the, I guess you had him in the waiting room.
He
man.
is. He is. Let me bring him over. And you can go ahead and swear him in.
And Judge, I'm not sure, but I would ask that Lieutenant Warren be placed in a waiting room or a breakout room just in case.
Your Honor, I believe he is the one and only witness of the state. State will request that he be allowed as such to stay.
He hadn't been excused as far as his testimony. He may be called as rebuttal out of an abundance of caution. I would ask that he be placed in a waiting room just the same as our witness was.
And Your Honor, I believe the rules are a little bit different, particularly when it's the law enforcement officer. I believe he is allowed to stay.
You can feel free to cite us to that rule, but short of a cite
Right,
to that.
hold on. So the issue, let me make sure I understand what the issue is. So you have a witness, Attorney Rogers,
Right.
and because if you, ADA Thomas, if you release Officer Warren and indicate that you're not going to call him again, then he can stay. But if he's going to be reserved for rebuttal, then I will put him in the breakout room.
You know, Your Honor, upon contemplation and reflection, just because he may be allowed, I may need to rebut, then I will ask that he be placed in breakout in the waiting room.
All right, and that's Warren, right? Lieutenant Warren?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. I believe at this point he's the only person left other than defense witness.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Lieutenant Warren, I'm going to place you in a breakout room. I mean, in the waiting room. All right.
Where'd he go?
I put him in there.
Okay, did he hear? Because he had turned off his camera. I'm not sure if he knows where he is. You know, can you let him know he's to not log off?
Okay, hold on. Lieutenant Warren, did you hear?
No, ma'am. I got kicked out the room.
No, see, that's what I was afraid of.
You've been kicked out of better places, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna place you in the waiting room because Attorney Rogers, the defense has a witness, and ADA Thomas indicated that she may want to call you for rebuttal. So in that case, I need to put you in the waiting room until this person testifies, and then at that point, you'll be able to come back or you'll be released.
Okay.
All right. All righty. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Turn on your cam. Go ahead, Attorney Rogers.
Yes, well, that's the same thing I was gonna say. Mr. Hudson, can you turn on your camera and unmute yourself if you can hear me?
And Your Honor, who is it that we're going to be hearing from? Because we don't know who this person is.
He's
Hello.
he's gonna go through all that, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. Can you, okay, there you go, I see.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and only the truth?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Could you please state your name?
Rashad Cornell Brown Hudson.
And
I'm
Mr.
sorry, what was the last name?
Brown hyphen Hudson.
Brown Hudson. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Hudson, are you from, well, should I say Brown Hudson? How do you prefer to be addressed?
Either Mr. Hudson or Mr. Brown. I have two last names, so it doesn't matter.
Understood. Mr. Hudson, are you familiar with Jacob Noble?
I am.
And I don't know if you can see that there are other people on the screen besides just me, but can you see the other people?
No, I'm not able to see them.
Okay. Do you have your phone in portrait mode? Maybe if you turn it sideways, you might be able to.
Okay, yeah, I see now.
Did we swear him in?
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
think so. I didn't hear it either.
I definitely swore him in.
Okay, swear him in.
I was asked to
Now,
raise my right
apologies.
hand.
Say that again.
Your Honor, he was sworn in.
Okay. Okay. I don't know how I missed that, but okay.
Mr. Hudson, I was asking you, do you know Jacob Noble? I think you said
I
yes,
do.
right?
Correct.
And then my next question was going to be about if you could see everybody whose pictures are showing us in this proceeding.
I
Can you
can.
Okay. Do you see the person that you know as Mr. Noble on here?
I do.
And do you also know a Corey Noble?
I do.
How do you know those people?
I'm a family friend of their brother that's deceased.
Okay. And you said their brother that's deceased. So you, as far as you know, they're siblings, brothers.
Correct.
And we've spoken a couple of times. So I think you're aware that Jacob is charged with threatening Corey. Are you aware of that?
Correct.
And in our conversation, well, let me ask, I guess, did it at some point come to your attention that you were, I guess, mentioned in connection with the situation?
No, it caught me by surprise. I was actually notified why Jacob has been incarcerated and also sent a police report with my name attached to it that I had no clue of.
Okay. And when you say that you had no clue, let's try to kind of tighten that up for the judge. Have you ever spoken to any law enforcement about a threat that Jacob Noble is supposed to have made towards Corey Noble?
I've never spoken to any law enforcement about anything about a threat or anything pertaining to Jacob or Corey.
And let's drill down on that. Did you, and this will be around December the 31st, 2024, or the 1st of January, 2025, around that time, did you ever tell Corey Noble that Jacob Noble threatened his life?
No, sir.
Did, to your knowledge, at around that time, did Jacob Noble ever threaten Corey Noble's life? To
No,
you?
sir.
And as it relates to you, at least, well, let me ask, because you may or may not know, but to your knowledge, are you the only Rashad that you know of in the friend group?
I am. I'm the only Rashad.
So if Corey told law enforcement that you told him that Jacob threatened his life, would that be true?
No, that would be false.
No further questions at this time.
All right, Cross.
So let me make sure I got your name correctly. You're Brown Hudson, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And far as you know, you're the only Rashad that they know, correct?
I am the only Rashad.
But you don't know that for certain, do you?
I'm pretty for certain I'm the only Rashad Brown Hudson.
But you don't know if you're the only Rashad, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And did Mr. Make sure I call the right Nobles. Did Jacob Nobles have any type of conversation with you regarding Corey that day? On or around that day?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he say?
He had just asked me had I heard from him.
And did you tell Corey that Jacob had asked about him?
No.
You didn't have any type of conversation with Corey regarding.
I did. No, ma'am. I did have a conversation with Corey that day. I speak with Corey every year around that time because his birthday is the 31st of December. So
Okay.
that's what that conversation was about.
Okay. And did that conversation involve Jacob at all that you know of or that you can recall?
No, ma'am.
You didn't say anything to Corey about Jacob.
Correct.
But again, you don't know if you're the only Rashad that he knows.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have reserved, right? For the redirect.
Judge.
Well, not redirect. I'm sorry, have it.
Understood. Mr. Brown Hudson, you mentioned a police report with your name in it. You remember saying that on direct about seeing that that's how you came to be aware that your name was in a report at some point?
Correct. I was used as being a witness to a terroristic threat.
Yeah, I'm going to object at this point in time. I believe defense counsel had the opportunity to question their witness initially. The contents of the report were not mentioned at that time. At this point, Your Honor, we have redirect, and I don't believe he would be able to go beyond the scope of what was done at that point in time. So if he's trying to expand the scope of his witness, then I believe, Your Honor, that goes beyond what he's allowed to do at this stage of the process.
Right. He's not doing that, Judge. What he is doing is...
No, not he, you.
Right. I'm going to keep speaking to you, Judge. I'm going to focus on you, Judge. So what I was saying, Judge, is what I'm doing is drilling down on the questioning about him being the only Rashad and why he would think that he was relevant to this case. So
Right.
that's
I'm gonna overrule the objection. Go ahead, Attorney Rogers.
So, Mr. Brown Hudson, you were explaining why you thought that you were the Rashad that was relevant to this case.
Correct.
What were you saying?
I had forgot the entire question now. Can you repeat what you were asking?
You had mentioned a police report with your name in it.
Correct.
So I wanted to make sure I was understanding what you were saying about the report. I kind of wanted you to finish that thought. As in, were you saying that you had seen your name?
Oh,
your
well, yes. By me saying that my name is Rashad, I'm the only Rashad that's been around this family for going on 20 years. I don't know any other Rashad that Corey Noble or Jacob Noble knows of. They never mentioned it to me, and I'm a very extremely close friend of the family. So,
okay. And the report that you were mentioning, do you know whether or not it referred to the full name or just your first name?
Just my first name.
All right. No further questions.
All righty. Any further witnesses? Any further witnesses, Attorney Rogers?
No, ma'am, Judge, that's the argument.
All righty. ADA Thomas, at this point, do you rest or do you need to recall Lieutenant Warren?
Don't need to recall him, Your Honor. Can I, in fact, he's sitting in the waiting room. I would like to let him go. I think time was of the essence on his end.
Okay, so if you're not going to recall him, I can let him back
Yes,
in.
ma'am, please. And can I just briefly ask him if he needs to go or if he wants to stay?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Warren,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have any additional questions of you. So do you need to go or do you want to stay to the end? We're almost done.
Whatever you need me to do.
I'm gonna leave it up to you.
I was
Okay.
about to say, that's fine. Well, do whatever you want to do, Lieutenant Warren. And so let's go into closing arguments. ADA Thomas.
Judge, is Mr. Brown Hudson excused? I don't have any
Yes.
problem.
He's able to stay or he can go.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All righty. Go ahead, Attorney Rogers.
Judge, a couple of things. There's basically two issues with this case. First issue is there's no reason to believe that what's being put forth by Corey is correct or true. And what I mean is that, number one, the person that Corey is, identifying to the officer as the wife, Lieutenant's never seen her. We don't even know if that's the same person on the phone as the person that is supposed to be the wife. There's no basis to say that is actually the person that was on that phone because the lieutenant never saw them. What we have is a bunch of recordings and people on the phone, and the only person that the lieutenant saw in person was Corey. So all of this rests on what Corey is saying, that the person on the phone is Jacob's wife, and that the person on the recording is Jacob. Like, all of that rests on what Corey is saying. But based on what Rashad has told us this morning, Corey's a liar. This afternoon, Corey's a liar. Because Corey put Rashad's name in it, didn't put the lieutenant in touch with Rashad. And the Rashad that
I'm going to object, and I do apologize for the delay. I had myself on mute. I don't recall hearing the witness ever say that Corey is a, quote, liar. He may have disputed what his testimony disputes what Corey said, but you just said
that, Judge. I'm saying Corey is a liar. I didn't say the witness said it.
Yes, that is his summation from the testimony. Proceed. Go ahead, Attorney Rogers.
Thank you, Judge. So, like I was saying, Corey is a liar. We'll be very clear about that. That's what Rashad is here for. Rashad was here last time. He sat on here about 12, waiting to speak on this situation. He knows both of them, like he told you. He was friends with that deceased brother. It's not that he has an axe to grind or anything like that with either side. So that's not the issue. He knows when the man's birthday is, or at least when it's around. I can't say that for all my friends, so clearly he's not, somebody out just here to try to make people look bad for no reason. And so that brings us back to, that's the first lie that Corey's telling in the situation, is that Rashad told him this. They don't have he didn't put the deputy lieutenant in touch with Rashad. Doesn't sound like he even gave him necessarily a full name so that the lieutenant could corroborate or follow up on this. Then he just has people on the phone that never show their faces. Rashad's here showing his face, saying what time it is. The lieutenant wasn't able to or did not verify independently that this number is associated with Jacob Noble's wife, or that the number that is being, I guess, the source of the recording, the voice is coming from. No verification that number is associated with Jacob. So there's no reason to believe any of this at the moment, that the person on the phone is Jacob, that the person that was being purported to be his wife is the wife. Like, there's no basis to believe that because it all rests on what Corey's saying. And like I'm saying, Corey is a liar because he dragged Rashad into this, and Rashad saying he have anything close to a conversation like that. So that's my first issue, is no reason to believe any of this. So I'd ask to dismiss on that basis. The second reason I would ask for dismiss is because legally, and this is, I guess you could call this an alternative argument, I'm going to entertain the idea that even if everything was as Corey said it was, the issue that we have now is that there's no basis to say that this was intended to threaten or terrorize Corey. Nobody's saying that Jacob said this to Corey. That's not who it was said to. Nobody's saying that Jacob asked for it to be relayed to Corey. There's nobody saying that Jacob had any idea that Corey was going to hear it, because Corey's not a part of the conversation where these statements are allegedly being made. So it's not like he's on the phone with him when these statements are being made. It's the conversation, if we take Corey's version, between a husband and a wife. So there's no reason to think that she's gonna go and tell somebody else about the statements. He didn't ask her to go and tell the statements. Jacob clearly has Corey's number. Nobody's saying that Jacob told it to Corey that he was gonna do that. But another reason I'm pointing out that it was a conversation between a husband and a wife is because when we're talking about it with the purpose of terrorizing another and intending it to be communicated, there's no basis to say that those were his intentions, even if we're entertaining that it was said. There's case law that says that just because somebody says something that might or might not constitute a threat, that doesn't end the discussion. One of the cases that I have, and this is Cole Dewey v. State, 310, Georgia App 788. It's a 2011 Georgia Appeals Court case. What it says is that to prove the crime of terroristic threats, state's burden is to show that, in this case, Cole Dewey threatened to commit any crime of violence with the purpose of terrorizing another or of causing the evacuation of a building, etc. These types of things. There's no basis to say that he intended it to be communicated to him. Nobody's saying Jacob said tell Corey. That's not what's happening here. Nobody's saying Jacob told it to Corey himself. You know, they had an exchange via text. That's not a threat in there. Pulling up, you can pull up at anybody's house to hang out, to have a conversation, whatever. But there's no threat in the direct communications between them. And in the case of Cole Dewey, what happened in that one was that I want to make sure I got this right. Yeah, that the gentleman was seeking or receiving mental health treatment. He made statements about, while speaking to the mental health providers, he made statements about wanting to harm. Let's see, I want to make sure I get it just right for you. That he wanted to harm a judge in that case. So these are judges ruling about threats to harm a judge that were made to a mental health professional at a behavioral health center. The court says, with respect to the threats made against Judge A.W., they agree that there's no evidence that Cole Dewey made the threatening statements to anyone other than the mental health staff for diagnostic purposes. And I would say that, you know, a conversation between a husband and a wife, it's a privileged kind of conversation generally, largely for the same reasons that a mental health conversation is not something that you can turn around and charge somebody about for merely expressing their thoughts, feelings, or whatever the case may be. And there's no basis to say that it was intended to be communicated to Corey. So that's one case that talks about the mere fact of making threats about an absent third party is not sufficient in and of itself if there's no intention that it be communicated to that person with the intent to terrorize that person. There's another case, Steplight, when the gentleman's charged with making terroristic threats based on statements expressing to other people that if he could not have her, the alleged victim, he would not allow anyone else to. It says that, setting aside whether or not the questions, those statements are threats at all, they were made to third parties, not to the alleged victim, not in her presence, and not made in circumstances that would allow an inference that she would directly hear them. For it to be relevant when it's a third party involved, it needs to be stated where the threat is submitted in such a way as to support the inference that the speaker intended or expected it to be conveyed to the victim. There's no basis to say that here. Because again, if that was the point, he could have just called and told him. He's got his number. We already established that, at least based on what Corey's saying. So that's why I say even if we entertain Corey's version, still not good enough. Because in stuff like the court talks about the evidence doesn't support an inference that he intended or expected the statements to be communicated. There's also one other case, make sure I got it handy, where a gentleman gets on the phone when he calls 911 about people shooting off fireworks and how he's irate and trying to get a response from 911. And he tells them, hang on, I want to get the language to that. And this is why he's on the phone with the 911 dispatch, Cobb County. Says he's hot about people shooting off fireworks. Says, I'm giving you guys 10 minutes to get here or else I'm going to take, looks like what the court says is products into my own hand. I'm going to go shoot those MFers right now. The man says it's on 911 about the people. Says, if you don't get here, I'm going to go out and kick somebody's effing A. This is what he says these things to 911. Again, the court says that's not good enough because there's no basis to say that he intended that those threats would be communicated to the victims. They were about getting a response. So based on all those cases, Judge, my point is that a conversation that, and again, I'm not accepting it, but I'm just entertaining it. A conversation that Mr. Noble, Jacob Noble, is supposed to have with his wife, that it's not clear that he knows it's being recorded, for one, but for two, Corey's not a part of that conversation. Nobody's saying that he's asking anybody to relay a message to Corey. He doesn't relay a message to Corey himself. There's no basis to say he intended that those things be communicated to Corey. But above all that, I still want to go back to, ain't no reason to believe that this happened as far as the people who are supposed to be the witnesses. Only one we've seen, the only one that law enforcement has seen is Corey. And Corey's a liar. So for all those reasons, Judge, I'd ask that the case be dismissed for lack of probable cause. Thank you.
All righty. Indiana Thomas.
Your Honor, first and foremost, I'm going to take exception to the defense's categorization of my victim as a liar. When we have here, the victim did take the threat as communicated to him seriously to the point that he did contact law enforcement. Now, ideally, the officer would have spoken to the wife to corroborate what the victim is telling him. However, when law enforcement is able to review video of a conversation, first and foremost, why would the wife record the conversation that she had with her husband and make sure that the victim was aware of that recording? And by that, she made sure that the victim had a copy of the recording so that he would be aware of what was going on. Second, we have a young man here who's saying that he wasn't the one who furthered or communicated to the victim that his brother intended to kill him. But we don't know if this is the only Rashad that the victim is acquainted with. Now, I understand that this particular Rashad is saying that he's a friend of the family, that he was a very good friend of their deceased brother, and that it is his belief that he was the only Rashad. But the victim himself, not victim, but Mr. Rashad that is present with us today, acknowledged himself that the only part, that the name Rashad is the only thing in the report, not a specific last name. So he cannot exclude the possibility that there was, in fact, another person that may have been privy to a conversation with this defendant. So if anyone is lying here today, I would contend that it would be the defendant when he's saying that he didn't intend or he did not make comments threatening the life of his brother. The lieutenant did hear a conversation that was made to the defendant's wife threatening this victim's life. The victim indicated to the officer that a person of the name of Rashad, but also independently was party to a conversation where threats to the victim's life were presented. I don't believe that a victim has to wait until someone actually literally tries to kill them to be concerned that threats were being made in regards to their life. You know, I do believe there is sufficient probable cause. Now, whether or not it will get beyond probable cause is another issue. but there is sufficient probable cause presented to the court at this point in time to bind over this threat to the Superior Court.
Alrighty. And so the concern I have with this case is that we have a wife, a third party communicating, a third party which no one has spoken with directly, communicating what the defendant said. Now, the statute is that a threat is communicated for the purpose of terrorizing a person. So he said it to the wife, and I didn't hear any information as to whether or not he said, go tell him. Go tell him what I said.
But
Yes.
I actually specifically asked that question. Lieutenant said, no, he didn't hear that on there.
Okay. And so I'm not, and I don't know if I heard, but how much time lapsed between what the defendant said to the wife and when the victim actually got the communication that his brother said. And so it says communication of a threat for purposes of terrorizing a person is sufficient where the defendant intended to terrorize the victim. Now, I think counsel's argument was key in that he could have called and told him that himself. It is the court position that this was a conversation between the defendant and his wife, maybe even venting about something, but I don't see it being for the purpose of terrorizing Corey. Had this wife not recorded the conversation, Corey wouldn't have even known. Corey wouldn't have even known to be scared.
Yana, if I can interject,
Go ahead.
it is equally probable that Corey would have known because the wife would have told him, since we're all speculating at this point, it's defensive speculating. The fact that she had enough presence of mind to record it and to convey the information to Corey indicates, at least to me, how concerned she was. She knows her husband. And if she didn't think that was done in a threatening manner, I don't think she would have gone through these links to record it and then make sure that Corey knew about it. But she did. Now, ideally, yes, I would agree with the court. The officer should have talked directly to the wife, but she had that much concern that she made sure that Corey knew about it. And if she had that kind of concern, then I can understand why Corey himself would have been concerned.
All right.
Nothing.
So
I'm
my
sorry.
issue is the part of the statute that says for the purpose of terrorizing.
Mhm.
I didn't get anything here that said that the defendant here said, I'm going to kill Corey to the wife to terrorize Corey. I didn't hear anything to that level. So at any rate, I am going to dismiss this charge. That's the order of the court. But I caution you, Mr. Noble, in communicating threats to anybody. Wife, obviously, she can't be trusted. She's recording you and sending it to other people. So
Yeah, I do object to that because I'm going to just follow up on my earlier argument that this woman knows him. And if she was concerned enough about something that he said, I wouldn't necessarily put the blame at her door. Maybe he's the one that can't be trusted around his family members.
Okay, that could be so too. That also could be so. But I just didn't find for the purpose of terrorizing Corey, when Corey learned through a third party, and it was no evidence that he intended for Corey to even hear it. So I'm gonna, that charge is dismissed. That's the order of the court.
Yes, ma'am. Can I have a quick breakout room with Lieutenant Warren Young?
Yes.
Lieutenant, can you hear me?
Man, you can.
Breakout room. Where am I? Oh, here they are.
I think I was in one, Judge.
Okay, I'm gonna put him in, yes, you're in one. All right. All righty. And all parties involved are free to go in this case. Mr. Nobles, stay out of trouble.